Hello and welcome to the Plague Year Recaps. If you're new, we are watching The Plague Year Season 1. It's a spin-off of America Season 2020, which went on hiatus a few weeks back. We don't know when it's coming back, if it's coming back. It just was replaced in the schedule by The Plague Year. And that show's really taken the world by storm. It is intense, fast-paced, devastation across the globe comes to America. Center of the devastation is New York City. Los Angeles has been hit really badly, but now we're also seeing it spread throughout the country. And there's fear, and there's death, and there's havoc. It's been a big emotional ride, and then this episode is called Mercy, which obviously signals a change. And at the start, we get the change. The episode is named after the hospital ship, the U.S. Navy ship Mercy that pulls into Los Angeles, the port of Los Angeles, to provide support for the hospitals in California as they deal with the plague. But I think there's more than that in the title. I think that the choice to call the ship Mercy is just to address how much, it kind of highlights how much love is at the center of the fight from the West Coast. And we've seen this when we talked about the characters. We talked about Mayor Garcetti, Big Daddy Love. His message has always been, we do this, we sacrifice, we make the changes we need to do because we love our community, because we care about each other. It's the real sense of California love, and he's really embodied that since the beginning. The heart of the episode is everything he's shown us so far. With compassion and mercy, and the fact that it's the only reason to fight, and it's the only way to fight a plague like this one. In terms of the action, though, it's really all around Newsom in this episode, and it's interesting. We start to see a change in strategy by Newsom, possibly inspired by Garcetti. You really see Newsom, who's been America's Governor West, kind of tall, hale, handsome, hair's perfect, even when he's been battling the bad king. And but he arrives and he's a go-getter and he does it all. But it's like he's begun to incorporate the message of love. The first thing he does when the Mercy arrive is thank the king. The king he's been battling for weeks to send this ship. And it's not just flattery. You get the sense that he's really, he's realized that this is all the king can do. He has no human compassion, no humanity, no love. He's full of hatred and spite. And that he was even able to accede to sending the Mercy to California. That's as good as it gets. It's like Newsom has decided, you know what? Let's see what happens if we show him some love. And so, he praises him for sending the ship. He praises him for sending ventilators. These are the 150 ventilators. Newsom's been asking for 40,000 ventilators. The king sends him 150 because you don't need that many. And so Newsom receives the ventilators and they're broken. The king didn't even send him functional ventilators. But Newsom is smart. He doesn't rail against this. He knows it's a trap, right? If he complains or if he makes any noise, you know that the propaganda arm, the king's propaganda arm, Fox News, is just going to tear him to shreds. And all the goodwill that he's been building by being organized, by shutting down the state, by doing all those things, he knows that's going to be wasted. So he doesn't take the bait. He doesn't fall for the hate. And he's like, thank you for the ventilators. And he's Newsom. he can deal with this. The first thing he does is he goes to Silicon Valley, he goes to a mage circle, he takes the ventilators there, and he's like, mages, I need your help. And sure enough, the next day, the mages have fixed all the ventilators and they're on way to the hospital. It's like, you can, it's the whole make lemons when you get lemonade, but it's like, you can send hate my way, but all I will put out is love. And it has an impact because you start to see, well, for one thing, it neutralizes the hate, right? It takes the fire out of the breath of the bad king. If he's trying to spew hate, but he's not getting anything back, there's no oxygen for that. And we're not out of the woods, right? The king is still the king and he's still a bad king. But for now, he's been able to neutralize it. And it's like the king's realizing that he's the last guy behaving like an 8-year-old kid on the playground. Meanwhile, in New York City, the devastation is overwhelming. And they're the ones being hit so hard by the plague in the US. And you've got Cuomo, who's completely different from Newsom, but we're also seeing his strategy emerge. He's not going to flatter the king. That's not his style. It wouldn't be authentic coming from him. Like, it would just sound fake. So for him, he's just like, all I can do is tell the truth, right? And so he's going to hold up the truth. He's going to say, this is what I know. These are the things we don't know. This is what we're aiming for. And we're doing our best. And he's kind of letting the truth hang there next to the lies. And like, people are really responding to it. It's one of the things that's made him America's Governor East. But he is trying to do it in a way that's that isn't confronting the king, because his confrontations have cost him. Like, he didn't get a ship until much later, after California, in spite of the devastation in New York City. He didn't get the resources. And, the bad king is just saying, I don't like you, I'm not going to help you. And he knows that he's not going to, be this kind of California love dude, but he's kind of emerging as like a knight of the round table, Galahad. Like, this is the truth. This is all I can be. And Newsom is more like the Percival, courteous and love, and Cuomo is like the Galahad, who's just justice and fight. And that if they drew swords today, Cuomo would just slash, would just destroy the bad king. And he's even being provoked by the bad king. Like, the bad king is like, I think Cuomo would be a great adversary. But again, Cuomo, like Newsom, he's not taking the bait. He knows it's a trap, right? There's no win in taking on the king. Between Fox News and everybody else, he can tell that it's a trap. He's streetwise. He may be Galahad, but he's still a New York guy who's got street smarts. And he's not falling for it. He's being kind of fought on two fronts, right? Love from the West Coast and truth from the East Coast. And he's really, he's been humiliated, the king. He's been diminished. We know the plague's going to get worse. We know the king's going to get worse. But this episode, we get a breath. Somehow, the good guys, they've got some respite. Somehow the king has had to do good things. Let's see how it goes. I'm really excited to see next week's episode, because now that the devastation is going across the land, how's that going to play out? Well, thank you so much for watching. And if you liked today's episode, please subscribe. Big red button, that way you'll know the next time we've got a new episode. And if there's something that we missed that you want us to cover, put it in the comments, and we'll try to get to it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.